Hello, my Canada Crafters. If you're new here, welcome. If you are loyal, welcome back. As we all know, Easter is right around the corner, so I just want to show you guys my spin on this year's Easter bunnies. So stay tuned. Starting with the names, we're going to head on over to Canva. And honestly, I couldn't find any fonts that I really liked, so I went over to fontbundles.net and I downloaded Tropical Shape. Now for Canva, I do have the Pro account, which allows you to upload your own fonts, so that's what I'm doing here. In Canva, you don't really have to worry about the size of the name because you're going to upload your file to Design Space and size it there. On the other ear, there is a photo. So what I did in Canva was look up Easter egg frames, and then I just sized the picture to the frame. Again, you don't have to worry about sizing the frame because you're going to size it in Design Space. For the names, I did save them as SVG files, and then for the eggs, I saved those as PNG files, and I saved it without the background, so a transparent background. The next step is pretty easy. You're just uploading your files to Design Space. For the eggs, you would save those as print then cut files. Then for the names, you would just save them as is because they're already saved as SVG files. So Design Space already knows that this is a cut file. When it comes to the sizing of the names, I really only care about the width because I don't want it to be too long. I already know that the height isn't going to be too large, it's just the width. So the width I put at 6 inches. And then for longer names, the height might be a little bit less than 1 inch, but for the most part, it's going to be about 1 inch in height and then 6 inches in width. I changed the color of the names because I'm using 3 different heat transfer vinyls. And please, please, please don't forget to mirror your image. Mirror, 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 because this is heat transfer vinyl and you will put the name on backwards if you do not mirror it. So the next step is just weeding. I will say for the smart vinyl, the glitter vinyl, make sure that you run it in your machine twice, just to make sure that everything is cut all the way through. I did use my Cricut Joy for this project, so if you don't have a bigger machine, you can still do this project. Like, it does not matter. Also, if you do decide to run your project through your machine twice, make sure that you don't take it off of the tracks. So when you run it, keep the mat in and just rerun it, just so you won't have double cut lines. It'll cut at the same exact spot it did the first time you cut it. Moment of transparency. I definitely spelled my niece's name wrong. Like, I spelled it with a Y instead of an I. And this is what happens when you decide to do projects at 3 in the morning. Luckily for me, I always save my scraps. So I just cut out an I and I just replaced it. And the good thing about heat transfer vinyl, since you have that sticker paper holding everything into place, it just makes things like this easier to correct. Now for the fun part is actually adhering the heat transfer vinyl onto the ear. So I have the Cricut Easy Press, and for glitter HTV, it says to put it on the second heat setting. So I'm guessing this is medium. So the two little waves. And just iron it on like you would anything else. I ironed it for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then I let it cool. And then I just peeled it off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. For the second ear, I use sublimation. These bunnies are 100% polyester, which means these are the perfect material for sublimation. Surprisingly, I didn't use my Cricut machine to cut out the eggs. I definitely could have, but I just felt like doing it by hand this night. Like I said, it was like 3 in the morning when I decided to do this, so I was just like, I'm gonna just cut it out by hand. But if you don't have a sublimation printer, it is okay. because I did a similar project in one of my older videos, the elephant sonogram, where I used printable heat transfer vinyl to do it. So this could apply for that if you don't have a sublimation printer. There's always a workaround. There is always a way. So if you haven't checked out that video, I'm going to go ahead and link it in the cards above and check it out. For the sublimation process, I did use my Easy Press because I just wanted one flat, piece of iron against against the ear in the photo. So I did use my Easy Press at 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 seconds. I pressed it down. I'm also using Crafting Besties sublimation paper in Cosmo ink for my sublimation printer. I will probably do a separate sublimation video at a later date, but that's the materials that I used for this. And when I say they turned out so perfectly, for the first egg, I did use heat transfer tape, but honestly, you don't need it because the eggs don't really go anywhere. So yeah, they came out perfectly. And there you have it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. These bunnies are also available in my Etsy shop if you would like to go shop with me. Everything will be linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Until next time, my Candor Crafters.